All right, welcome everybody. We're excited to start this week's webinar, and today we're going to be going over some of the new features for our agency life quoter. We're very excited about our new features that we're launching here. We've really been listening to a lot of the feedback our clients have been giving us on the platform, and we're excited to be launching some of those for you guys. So we're going to jump right in and start going through some of these slides and show you guys the new platform here. My name is Lasse Young. I am the Chief Revenue Officer here at IXN. If you've ever been on a webinar with us before, you've probably heard my voice. If you've ever been to any conferences in the industry, you've probably seen my face. And so I do a lot of this stuff. I work with a lot of our clients. You'll probably be working with me directly if you're a brokerage and you're using any of our brokerage products, at least to get you started. So feel free to reach out to me afterwards. And I do want to mention that there is a poll that we've put in. There are some poll questions down here below, and you'll be able to please answer some of those questions here at the end of the webinar. We want to hear from you guys about what you think of the new features and what your thoughts are. Also, I want to stress that we do listen to feedback from our clients, so we definitely want to hear from you all. If you want to email support@ixn.tech, that's TECH, so support@ixn.tech. With any feedback you have, we'd love to hear from you. We are very committed to making this the best possible user experience for all of our clients as possible. And so please feel free to email us with any of your feedback. Also, if you're a current client of IXN, you can log into the dashboard. In the dashboard, there is a support tab in the left-hand navigation, and also a roadmap tab where you can request new features and such. And that's where we got a lot of the feedback from our clients for a lot of these new features that we're launching here. So to start us off, I want to talk to you guys about 3 of the goals that we had with these new features that we came out with. Number 1 was speed. We wanted the quote engine to be the fastest process in the industry for quoting, and we really do think it is. We've tested a lot, we've played around with it, we've compared it to other platforms, and we wanted to make it easy, and quick to get to what your agents are looking for, what your office staff is looking for as they're using the platform, and that was our first goal. So hopefully we've accomplished that. We think we did. Number 2 is user experience. Ease of use really is the key here. We understand that there's agents of all ages and all nationalities and all kinds of different situations using the platform. We run millions of quotes on our platform every month. And so, making it easy to use was a big thing. We wanted to add features and add tools that make it easy to get to what you want and where you want faster and have a quicker output and more profitability as a result. Number 3 is scalability. We plan on expanding the quote engine with other features in the future, and this is a step towards doing that. We want to make sure that as we add different tools in, it scales really nicely into some of those other tools, and it's not just we have to create a whole new platform or have a whole new user experience. So the new user experience that I'm going to be showing you today is a lot more scalable and allows us, as we move forward and we take feedback from our customers, hence why I asked for feedback, it makes it much more easy for us to add those features and add those tools to the platform. So popping into the next screen here, I'm not going to go through all this right now. This is more just a guide for me as we go through this. But you can see there's a lot of new features added. I'm going to show you guys each one of these features here in the webinar today. So I won't read through this list, but take a screenshot, come back to it later. We're also putting together some marketing material for you guys. So if you want to brand that marketing material and give it to your agents, and training materials as they transition to this new platform, we will be putting some of this into that material and things like that moving forward. But these are all the new features that are added in this launch. So, new user experience and flow. There's some great filtering options. So some highlights here that I want to point out are the ability to quote by product feature. I think that's pretty dang cool. You can now quote for product fit, not just price. A lot of people just quote, hey, here's the top 3 cheapest. But if you want to do the top 3 cheapest with the right features included, then you can do that now with our platform. And I don't think anyone else out there does that. You can quote multiple face amounts. That was a piece of feedback we got from a lot of our customers who wanted the ability to quote multiple face amounts. And then another highlight that we got a lot of feedback on was new PDF layouts. So your outputs when you're doing comparisons and things like that, we've got some new options. The old one's still there, the one that you've been using, the one you're used to using from IXN, but we added 2 more for right now, and we will be adding more in the future. Hence the scalability option, the ability for us to add more PDF layouts and things like that, as well as being able to create custom ones. And we'll talk about that here in a bit. Bill, looks like you had a question about where the underwriting guides are in the new quote engine. I'll be showing you that here in a minute. So those are some of the new things that we've been working on. We've spent a lot of time on this. We're really excited. And again, we want to hear your feedback on it. So let's take a look at the quote engine. So I'm going to change this out. So I'm sharing my screen here. You should all be able to see my screen. I wanted to give you a second to take it in as you see it here. This is the new quote engine. At first glance, very simple, right? The old one looked very different. The old one, you can still switch to the classic version, the old version down here at the bottom. So you switch to classic, and here's the old one, right? This is probably what you all are used to seeing. You can see, for the foreseeable future, it looks like till December 31st, you'll be able to still go back and utilize this just like you were before. But then you can switch to the new look and feel. So that's down here at the bottom next to terms of service and privacy policy. So at first glance, you're probably thinking, wow, this is very different, probably very different than anything that you're used to using. And you may even have seen in the interim, we had a different version that had a sidebar down the left side here that you probably weren't used to using. And we got a lot of feedback from our customers, some good, some bad. And so we took the good and we kept it, and we took the bad and we improved upon it. So now you pop through here and you can, let's start with the agent section. So first of all, there's the agent section here, and you'll see that you can come in here just like before. This was on the right side over here before, but you come in here and put in your agent information. Then you can, down here at the bottom, if you already have an account, so this is one of the new features, you can now log in. So this is a login to the dashboard. So if you're used to the dashboard, I'll show you that here. They can then log in and autofill some of this. Now this only autofills a little bit of information right now. So in the future, what will happen is we'll be able to expand upon this if you want to log in and create single sign-on and things like that. Right now, all of these users are controlled from the dashboard here. As you can see here on my screen, these are all my different users. And so you can add users, things like that. This is synced up with our mobile app platform. So these, if they have a mobile app login, they can log in here. However, keep in mind, we understand that one of the things that people like about our platform is that you don't have to log in. And that's still the case. They don't have to log in here to use the platform. You can put it, we recommend that you put it behind a password protected area of your website, but there's not like a single sign-on needed or anything like that to access it. Unlike some of our competitors who, you're going to get calls from your agents all the time because they can't remember their password and their login, things like that. So we wanted to make sure we kept that user experience, but this allows us to eventually expand upon the features in the future for things like maybe saving quotes and autofilling more information and stuff like that. Right now, it basically just autofills the agent information here. Next step here is we go to proposed insured. And I know, Bill, you had a question about where the underwriting guides were now, and those are right here. So you click there, and those come up right here. So when we're selecting the health class, we can bring up the carrier underwriting guides right here. And just like before, they've just moved up to right above here when you're selecting your health class. What's cool about that is you'll see when we get to the quote results, these don't go away. And so before, you had to go back to the initial screen to access the underwriting guides when you're in the quote results, or you could just go into one carrier and access them there. But you can see now you can access them right here on that screen as you're selecting the health class. So we can move back and forth between date of birth and age here. You can see it'll show you it'll calculate the age and nearest age, things like that. And so as we come in here and we select our date of birth, bam, we've now got our date of birth. We select our state down here, Colorado, and then our health class. Oh, let's put in our client name. Let's say we're working with John Doe here. Next option we're going to select is coverage amount. Here's another new feature. I mentioned this. You can now quote multiple face amounts. So you can see I come in here. I already had 250,000 input. If I didn't have anything, it just says start typing. So let's say we want 500,000. Once I've typed it, I click tab. And then let's say I also want 1 million. And actually I can do, let's say I also want to do 1.5 million. Bam. So now we're going to quote these three options. And you'll see down here under the select quote criteria, it updates this estimated quote results. This isn't exact. It doesn't actually show the exact amount until we actually run the quote, but it's just giving you an idea. Another new thing we added here, some of you may have, we had some feedback on some frustration with the ability to only show, we were only allowing you to run 100 quote results. And so we upped that to 200, I believe. So now if you want to show more features, or if you want to show more results in the same quote results, you can now run it with more options. So some people like to use it, which we recommend, to get a very select number of quotes. You want to get the right quotes while you're running it. However, some people want to see more and then filter down from there. So that way it gives you the options for both. We can come in here, we can select the carriers. You can see that I've got some selected here already. I've got 21 carriers selected. It shows me the number up here. And I can go in here and I can add more carriers if I want. So if I want to add, I want to add in Midland or turn that off, or anything like that. So I can come in here and select those on the fly, just like before. It's just a little more concise, and you, of course, can still select which carriers are available here, just like before. And whatever settings you have in your current quote engine, you don't need to go in and reset those. Your current settings do transfer over to the new version. And we then select our product types. Let's say we want a 20 and a 25-year term. You can see now we're estimating about 126 results. And then we can add riders if we want. And then this is brand new. We can now add product features. So as I come in here, you can see there's a whole bunch of different features. And this is really cool. And I think this for agents, initially they'll probably not know how to use this. But once you get used to it, I think this will become common to be able to run the quotes with product features included. So now I can come in here and I only want to see quotes that have a conversion. I only want to see quotes that have a chronic illness rider included and that are renewable. And I can run it with that. Or we can go back and filter after we run the quotes. So let's run the quotes here and get to the quote results. So we have a lot of quotes, so it's going to take us a second here. Okay, let's run it real quick. There we go. Sorry, for some reason it timed out there for a second. Let's run it with a couple different face amounts here. Here we go. All right, now we have the quote results. Oh, I want to add another product, right? We had 125,000 in here as well. So now we have our quote results. You can see we've got our tabs up here. We can go 20-year, 25-year. We've got 75 results in this particular quote. And if we want to narrow that down, because we only want to see ones that have a conversion, I can narrow it down to, now we've got 61 results. And I can continue to narrow it down and add different features and writers and things like that as I go. I can pop back and forth between the tabs here and pretty quickly, just like before. And then there are some other things that we can do here as well. I will say, I do want to mention here, for those of you who are using the advanced embed configurations, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's the ability to autofill things like name and date of birth and things like that. So if you've got an integration from a CRM system, or you're a customer who integrated it with their website to autofill some of those things, we do have new documentation on that. We'll share that here with you guys, but it's on our support page. So we've got it is backwards compatible. So this new version is not going to break what you currently have, but in due time, you will want to make sure you update to the new attributes. Most of you, that's probably not going to affect you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then it's probably not affecting you. So keep that in mind. It looks like we have a few questions here. I'm just going to hop back. Someone asked if this affects the API. These effects do not this does not affect the API. You asked if we can run FEX, term, and UL quotes. Yes, Larry, you can. And looks like someone is missing the checkboxes next to the carrier and rate classes. Christy, we'll have support reach out to you about that and make sure that gets taken care of. And then we'll come back to some of these other questions. But hopefully that answers your question. So let's get back to the quote engine here, and I'll try to answer some of these questions here at the end as well. So hopefully you all can still see my screen here. Some new features here that we can also that are also included in the platform are the ability to search. So this is brand new. So I get to the quote results here, and really what I'm looking for is, I know I want to work with Pac Life. So I can come in here, and if I just start searching for Pacific, for example, you can see it's really snappy. As I start putting in letters here, it immediately starts showing the results. And so we've got this new search where you can search by carrier or product name. So for example, if you know you're looking for the promise term, right, you can search that and it comes up right away. Another new feature here is this filter button over here. Really, really cool. I can click on this, and this was all here before, the sorting option. But now you can see there's a grouping option, because what I have right here is I have my 20-year term, right? But I ran it with two different face amounts, 250,000 and 500,000. So my 500,000 is going to be way down the list here. But I want to create a comparison for my client. So let's say I want to find those. So I come down here and I group by, and I change it to face amount. Oh, wow. Now I've got my 250,000 here and my 500,000 here. So, and obviously it's going to start with a 20-year term, and eventually it'll show the 25-year term as I go further down the list. So you can really kind of get to what you want much quicker with some of these grouping and filtering options that we've added, as well as, hey, let's say the customer doesn't want to pay more than $50 a month. We come over here, we grab our slider. Okay, now it's showing all of our quotes that are $50 a month. And let's say we want to see it by face amount. So we want to see all of our 500,000 that are under $50 a month. And we can see those here. As we scroll down, you can see there's nothing over $50 a month. So that's new. It really helps you get to where you want to be. Let's say we also want to see ones that have a chronic illness rider included. So I click that, I click view quote results. Now we're down to 12 quote results. And then I also want to see ones that have a accelerated underwriting program for that carrier. Now we're down to 4 results. So you can see, and we've only got them under 20-year term. You can see you can quickly get to what you want by filtering. That's why we moved all the inputs up to the very top here. In the old quote engine, you would have had to go back, re-input things, and then come back to the quote results. This allows you to change anything right here. It also allows you to access the underwriting guides at any point rather than going back to the initial screen, which is where they were before. It allows you to jump back and forth really quickly between the different areas. Another new feature here is, let's say now we want to do some comparisons. We're going to select these 3 carriers here, or let's select a couple more. Let's say we want to do these 5. I want to compare those. If I click on compare up here, you can see as I select, it adds a new bar here. There's a share option and a compare option. When I click compare, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up this nice little comparison. It'll show me the different products and carriers, as well as the premiums, the face amounts here that I'm comparing. So if I had, if I was also comparing the 500,000 option here, it would show that here, as well as I can compare the product features. And obviously we ran it with, I only wanted to see ones that had a conversion. Here you can see ones that have an accelerated underwriting program. This one includes a nursing home confinement rider. This one here includes the option to decrease face amount. This one's renewable. These ones have the terminal illness rider included. So you can also come in here and just compare the ones that you're considering here for your client, and in a quick view this way. And then I can share them as well. If I want to share them, I can download them, email, or text them. This is what you always saw before in the top right, where you could download, email, or text a quote. That hasn't changed, but it's under the share button now. I go next, and you can see we have 3 different options here. We have our good old option here that we've always used to share the quote results. View PDF. And here we have our PDF. You guys have seen this many times, I'm sure, if you're a user of IXN. But we've got some different layout options here as well. So if I want to do like a premium comparison, this is a little more detailed and a little more condensed in the viewing of it. So it'll show, here's my my different payment modes. It'll break them down here into one PDF that way. And if we go back here, you can see I can. There's also the option to download one that actually shows the product features as well in that PDF. So you can see this shows the breakdown with the different product features that are available for each carrier. So this is a little more detailed in that sense. So different layout options. That was one thing we got a lot of feedback on, is you wanted different PDF options there. And another thing that we can do here, this is also brand new, is we can create custom options here. So if you have an option that, hey, you know what, we really want this PDF that shows it this way. You can custom build the layout, the design, everything on it, and we'll put it in there. There is a cost for that. It's an additional setup fee to do so, but we can custom build options. Again, we wanted to make our platform scalable, and so we got a lot of feedback on, hey, I want some different layout options. Well, now if you come to us, we can build you your own if there's something specific you want. These ones come with the platform right now, but we can build you your own if you want as well. So going back here to the quote results, you can see as I can unclick these, but you can also see that now there's a show details option here. There used to be, you could click here, which is still there. There's a get started button. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can click here to show details. If I show details, this is new. This was always here before they were down the left-hand side, but you could always come in here and select the forms that you want right here from the quote results. So you can see I can select the standard packet. This is going to be your new business forms. Select those, download them. Nothing there's changed. There is a new forms layout you can see there. So here we just download that form, but you can see the new forms layout here. It's really nice. It shows you the descriptions and shows you a little more details than the old one did. And then there's the carrier overview. This is kind of AM Best ratings, as well as some of the financial details of that carrier, as well as the premium breakdown here with the policy fee and things like that. But this is really cool. There's you can see which features are available here. So even if you don't include a filter here, you can go into each carrier and see which features are available, as well as, like I said, like I showed you before, we can select a few and see a more condensed comparison here and show the ones I want. So going back to kind of the quote results here, as I pop back and forth, let's say I really like this feature to be able to jump over to face amount. So, hey, I want to see the $500,000 face amounts. Let's say I'm ready to get started and I want to write some business. I come in here and there's a get started button now. This is very similar to what you saw before with e-ticket, things like that. If I click get started, you can see this is where the custom actions come into play. So we've got our e-app here. If you haven't seen our new e-app, check it out. There's a webinar. We posted it on our YouTube channel. You can come in and see our webinar process here and what that looks like. That hasn't changed. Also, our e-ticket option. This is our Express Complete integration. We've also got a protective e-ticket, as well as we're planning on adding some other options there soon. But yeah, and then this is just a link to the AIG website. You can custom add options here in this pick an action section. So if you want to add your own buttons here as well, if you have your own ticket that comes to you, or if you want to custom send them anywhere, that's still available right here in this option. And so that hasn't changed. There is a view quote here. You can just pop that up at any time if you want to see that. But the placement of it has just changed slightly. So now that's right there on the right side where it says get started. So just making sure I went over everything. I really like that you can come up here and change things on the fly really quickly. So if we want to add another health class, if we want to add, change out the features, you can do that really, really quickly up here at the top. And really kind of get to what you're looking for here in the quote results quickly and efficiently. Going back to that user experience of your agents, I come up here, let's add American General, Final Expense, or things like that. You can still quote all the same products; those are here. It's just really quickly, no going back and forth like before to rerun the quote. If you want to change the criteria, if you want to add some things to get to the right quote for your customer, you can do that really quickly up here. So if we want to add an ADB writer, I can just click, and it now we've got 40 results. So yeah, that's the new Agency Life Quoter. We're very, very excited about the launch. It is live now. So as of today, this is the default quote engine. So all your agents are going to be directed to the new one. We think it's pretty intuitive. Let us know if there's any feedback there. Like I said, if you want to hear about it, but they can keep in mind down the bottom here, they can switch back to the classic version if they want for about the next month. So you can still utilize that. But give us feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear what your thoughts are on the quote results, things like that. So please give us feedback on this. And again, please take the poll here at the bottom of our webinar here. We'd love to hear from you, and and hear what you think about the new Agency Live Quoter, about the new features that we've added there. So let's pop into my next slide here. For those of you who haven't seen our new package pricing, we have kind of packaged up some of our tools to make it make more sense affordably for you guys, and we've got some new packages. Please reach out. We'd love to talk to you about how we can get you set up with this platform and some of the tools. We'd love to kind of go through that with you. Here is my contact information. My name is Lasse Young. It's pronounced right here. Here's my email and my phone number. And now I will go through and answer some of the questions. It looks like quite a few questions have come in as we've been going through this. Feel free to there's a question section down at the bottom there. You can see there's a couple questions that have come in there, and then there's a chat here on the right where you can chat in some questions. So let me, I'm going to go through and answer some of these questions. Feel free to chat in any questions or ask any questions you want, and I will go through and answer them as efficiently, as quickly as I can here. Keep in mind, we will also be recording this, so we'll be posting this on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can find the link to our YouTube channel just on our website at the bottom of the page. There's all of our social media links there, including a link to YouTube. So let me ask or answer some questions here. Let's see. I hope we answered, can final expense term and UL quote be quoted on this? Yes, just like before, you can quote all three options. For those of you who haven't seen that we launched final expense, that's new. About 4 months ago, I think we launched Final Expense. You can now quote Final Expense on our platform. Christy, please reach out to support and we'll see what's going on. It sounds like there's some CSS issues there, and we'll try to help you get that straightened out as quick as possible. So Sean, it looks like you asked, did you just say you can run GUL, UL? Looks like you meant to say IUL from that platform. You said you have all the carrier software loaded in this puppy. So right now you can do GUL and you can do some whole life, specifically final expense. I know Sagicor, you can quote their standard whole life, but it's not a full illustration platform. We are planning on expanding to some of those other lines in the future, but right now it's term, GUL, final expense, mainly on our platform. Larry, you asked, can we request non-med and med quotes with the different carriers? So when you're running the quotes, you can, you'll be able to, under the product section, there's a section that says, like 15, 20-year term simplified issue. So that's going to be your non-med, your traditional non-med. There is a little bit of an overlap going on because the industry is changing a little bit right now towards, on the term side at least, towards accelerated underwriting. I think, final expense is kind of still on the non-med side because it's a much easier process for them, or the underwriting process is much more automated there. So you can run specifically non-med products. You just select the simplified issue option and it's going to be all non-med. And then Sean, it looks like you put in kind of what you want to see in a quote result. Oh, here's your question here. Can you customize something like this? I beta test or pipelines, I quote engines for this with Sean Carey, old school here. Can we set a meeting one-on-one? Sean, I'd love to set up a meeting one-on-one. Happy to do this. And you said you may need some custom work here. So Sean, I'll reach out to you. And then, it looks like you had another question. Can you apply from the platform? Do you link to MGAs and BGAs? Sean, it sounds like you're an agent and you're looking for an application process. So generally, this product is purchased by a BGA, and then they provide it to their downline agents. There is the ability to apply. They can either grab the old school paper forms, just download the PDF. They are fillable. They can do an e-app. The e-app, the difference there is you use our platform to actually fill the full application and then send it off to the client to electronically sign it. Or you can do a drop ticket as well. So if you're familiar with the kind of short we call it an e-ticket on our platform. We call it an electronic ticket, basically. Some people call it a drop ticket, but you can do any of those three options from our platform with a lot of different carriers. So hopefully that answers your question. But Sean, I'll reach out to you and we can go into some of your questions and custom things that you're looking for in more detail. Looks like Jim asked a question: is this more for agents or a portal for customers? So this is for agents. Our platform is an agent use tool. So like I said, this is generally purchased by like a BGA or IMO, and provided to their downline agents to be able to utilize at no cost. Usually they put it behind a password protected area where they give their contracted agents access and they'll log in to access all their different tools. Jim, hopefully that answers your questions or your question here. Hopefully everyone's taken the chance to answer some of the poll questions. Please answer them now. We want to hear from you. That's a great way to give us some feedback. Again, we want to hear from you. Please email support@ixn.tech. With any other questions, it looks like there's another question here. When the carrier pushes out product rate changes, where do you note that so that we can see that we are running the correct quotes? Paula, you should always, our platform should always have the latest rates up to date. So when you go in and run a quote, you'll know that those are up to date. We do send out monthly product updates or product update emails to our customer base that tell you when all the updates were happening. And you can also go into, you can chat in on our live chat in the dashboard. If you have questions about any of it, we're happy to answer any questions you have. But we do send out those monthly updates with all the latest rate changes there. And I believe we post them in our support channel as well. But really, we always keep these up to date. We have relationships with the carriers directly to make sure that we have the latest rates, the latest forms, so that way our customers can feel confidence going in when they run a quote and they quote their client, barring they have the right information put in for that client, they can have confidence that those are the right rates and the right forms as you're downloading those and all that. When you're running quotes, Phil, you should be able to have confidence in that. Awesome. Well, it looks like if there's any other questions, feel free to, like I said, email support@ixn.tech. Please reach out to me directly if you'd like to set up a private demo to see if this platform is a good fit for your agency. But thank you all for joining, and we hope to be working with you all soon if we're not already.